Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me share my screen and start my. Welcome to Black Wall Street, Texas, our weekly meeting. We're so excited that you have made a decision to join us in this space. This is a spiritual movement where we focus on building stronger communities. And today we are going to go through our agenda. We'll start. The welcome is welcome, 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 welcome all. And if you're watching the recording, we want to welcome you to our actual sessions on every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we welcome all Black Wall Street members or even those small business owners that are interested in joining the Black Wall Street movement. Now we're going to open with a prayer. Anyone who feels compelled to lead in prayer, please go ahead and lead us in prayer. Okay, well, I will lead us in prayer this morning. Oh, gracious Father, I want to thank you for blessing us to wake and rise and see another day, and to thank you for giving us this space to actually come together and grow our businesses. I want you to bless the leaders in the movement as well as those that are being impacted by the movement. These and other blessings we're asking in our Son Jesus' name. Amen. Now, let's go into our 7 spiritual markers, which are Spirit of the Lord, Spirit of wisdom, Spirit of understanding, Spirit of counsel, Spirit of power, Spirit of knowledge, Spirit of fear of God. Now, these 7 spiritual markers can be located on blackwallstreet.org and look under the spiritual markers to get a deep understanding of what it means to be um, guided by these markers. Next, we are going to go back. It's time for the introductions. We ask that they're limited to 1 minute. Only focus on one of your companies so that we can give each other an opportunity to share our company's name, product, or service. I'll lead off. The one that I'm going to discuss while we're in this space right now is the one that I want to focus on is called Community Connectors LLC. What it is a community development company that focuses on building a small community for business owners. And we are based here in Fort Bend County area and looking to expand our services here in the Fort Bend County area. That's Community Connectors LLC. Next.
Hi, I'm Karen Reese, and the business I'm going to highlight today is Can We Talk Sports? Can We Talk Sports is a sports mom talk show, and we're proud to be hosting our very first Sports Moms Conference. And I'm just so excited. It's coming up February the 1st, where we're going to bring in speakers from all around to come in to educate parents on what they need to know in the sports world journey. There is so much going on in sports. And so we want to be one of the leading organizations that is channeling information to educate parents from all levels, little league up to professional, on information on what they need to do in order to make an informed decision. So if anyone would like to be a sponsor or a vendor, reach out to me at canwetalksports@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is V. Decatur, and the business I'm going to highlight today is Cafe Restore. It is a where we actually help restore property back to the hands of residents who have lost their property due to title theft and due to illegal, means, forged deeds and that type of thing. And we also teach the community how to learn how to help collect overages for people who've lost property at auction, and to how to, earn a commission at the same time, and helping them to collect. There's $60 million in overages right now in the court registries of Harris County, Texas alone. And so, yeah, we teach people how to do this in all 254 counties of Texas, in any state in the United States where they have a tax deed system, and they can learn how to how to help the community collect these funds.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Now we're going to move into our discussion area. And with the discussion area, we start out by focusing on old business UEI number update. I'll share that I did get my UEI number and it did not validate the cage. I had to resubmit the application for the cage number, and I'm waiting to hear back. I did contact support for helping me with getting the cage application correct, and they did help me with that, and now I'm just waiting to hear back. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add in regards to the UEI number update? If not, we'll go into using ChatGPT to find funding. And I'll share what I'm currently doing using ChatGPT is I'm creating a course, and which it will be used to funding. It will be used for funding as a funding source. And I'm using ChatGPT to create the content for the course that I will market using a funnel system. So that's how I'm incorporating using ChatGPT right now for funding sources. Does anyone want to share how they're incorporating using ChatGPT for funding?
With the conference, with me bringing in a lot of different speakers and trying to do breakout room and times and stuff, I went to chat and asked it to help me break out the time slots for 5 different rooms, 30 minutes each. And it just, it just spilled it out for me. And so that is going to help me so much in trying to put the different speakers in the different rooms and figuring out the time. So it helped me a whole lot to, just kind of be able to visually see how to do this,
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. ChatGPT has been a game changer for me. I can go to it, and this week I went to it, and I um ask it to outline, and I can fill it in on the outlines, but outline the different types of things. I'm gonna take the podcast to another level, where I'm also going to be going on there and actually mentioning names and addresses or zip codes of property that have 5,000 or more. Some of these properties have 6 figures, $200,000 and $300,000 in overages to be collected. And so people can listen in for their name or their information. They can listen in for maybe neighbors. This helps take the podcast to another level, and at the same time helps us to be able to help more people. So I keep forgetting how useful ChatGPT is, because when you're so used to doing it all yourself, sometimes it's just easy to forget the full effect of it. But I tell you, it's definitely a game changer, and it's helped me get a lot of work done a whole lot faster, and I'm really grateful for. I paid it upcharge gladly, in order to have that, added to my, added to my the service. Where, yeah, it's just a game changer. It's been a game changer for me. Makes a lot with the work so much easier, especially when you kind of doing a lot of stuff yourself.
Yes, yes, it is. It's a wonderful tool.
It is.
Yes, yes, yes. Any updates on your political connection? I'll just share I have reached out to several political figures this week, but I have not received any responses from them. I'll do follow up this week as well because we do have that event on Wednesday, and there are several politicians that I definitely want in that space. And so I'll follow up with them. I understand it was the holiday, so I'll give them a pass on that, but I'll follow up with them this week.
I haven't gone so far as to send any out, but I do have my letters composed now. Thanks to ChatGPT, give me a good, kind of like way to start rewording it. And what I like about ChatGPT is it remembers you. If you keep things in the same thread, chat thread, it remembers who you are. So you can say, I want a letter going out to legislators to do this, to highlight this and then let them know. And it'll spit it right out and pick up everything that it knows about you, which again is great. And so I just have to go get my, stationery and start stamping my envelopes, with my business stamp and getting them out. That I'm doing this week for sure. But I at least got my letter done. I don't have it mailed out yet to legislators, but I'll definitely get it mailed out this week. Matter of fact, that's what I'm working on now, who I want to send this information to.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that you're doing that. Because I've just been sending electronic emails. I may also incorporate doing a physical email or a card or something to them, something they wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Mhm.
both because I know most people do deal in email, but it's
Mhm.
just good to see, for me to see. I'm sending these letters more or less to see if my letters go out and if they don't come back. That tells me a lot
Yeah.
about that particular legislator and how they're, handling things. But yeah, I have a letter. Yeah, the same one that is going to go out on the email is going to go out physically. But I do want to send some of them out. Some that I know I'm kind of concerned about. I want to
Uh-huh.
see how they respond to letters. I just want to see something so I can make my notes about that. But in
And
terms
that
of the letter, yeah, it's great. I've got it. It's ready. It's ready.
Okay, and I think that'll be a great strategy too, being that a lot of political seats have changed.
Uh-huh.
And it'll be a great way to introduce the business to the new politician
Mm-hmm.
that's currently in the seat.
Because if the email address changes with the new legislator, it's just gonna bounce back.
Right,
It's just
right.
gonna bounce back to us in our email, which is very telling too. It tells us to, because I personally, I don't know about you, I don't know about every legislator that's in my, what do you call that line of where my information needs to go to. And
Uh-huh.
so this will be a way for me to learn too how these seats are going to be set up
Right,
after January.
right, right. We'll have to do what we did before. We researched our uh,
Hmm.
current politicians that are serving our zip code. You put your zip code and then it will shoot out who the politicians are and send their contact information as well. So I'll wait till probably next
We
week.
have to be careful because unfortunately now ChatGPT, that's why they say sometimes you have to, check and double check. It's
Right.
still listing Sheila Jackson Lee's name instead of Erica's name. You see what
Erica.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
It
Right.
hasn't caught up. So I'm saying that's good, but we also have to kind of research and kind of like separately because it can be slowful to catch up. It's a bot, so it only picks up what it's been, what's there for it to pick up. It's
Right,
not
right,
mentioning
right.
Erica's name yet, and I tried it the other day, so
Mhm.
hopefully it'll configure that soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to add anything as it relates to political connections or contacts that you made the past week? All right, let's move into the new business. Using information presented on Nathan Daily Call is what is on the agenda, but we know we didn't have the call on Monday. And so I think what we can talk about is something that's relevant, how they have reinstated that we have to do the BOI form now. So has everyone completed the BOI?
No,
No?
I'm not working on it. I'm not doing anything for Black Wall Street. In other words, I'm not going that route right now.
Okay.
So I'm not on the calls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, with the BOI, Karen, can you explain how the BOI is being used?
I believe, when COVID came and you had all these different businesses that applied for PPPs and all these loans that came out of the woodwork, there was no tracking or anything to be able to see if these businesses were really legit, kind of, because some of them are sole proprietary as well. But I think that they're just kind of putting things in place to make sure that the businesses, owners and stuff are registering at different government organizations. And that's just my thought. But the BOI is a very simple form that you're just filling out and acknowledging your LLC and putting who's the main contact of your organization, and you're submitting it. They've been going back and forth with whether it was constitutional or not. So one minute they would put it on hold, and the next minute it'll come back. And so I think as of right now, it's back, and you have to have it filed by January the 13th, I believe. And if you don't file it, you can be fined up to like $500 and some a day for not having this form filed if you have an LLC. And then there is an exception. So some companies don't have to file it. And so when you go on the website, you can look at the list that are exempt from having to file it. But it's still very convoluted where a lot of people don't know. And so because the application is free, and because there's a lot of little fine lines is, oh, I don't know if my business fall under this. I know I'm accounting, but I'm not CPA, or, and so because the application is free, I'm just like, go ahead and just file it. Just go ahead and get it filed. And just in case you're one of those businesses that wasn't for sure. And so you just go ahead and file it. And it's very simple application. But if there's something that you don't want to do, you can reach out to me. I charge $50 to do it for you, and I'll send you the application once it's done. But if that's something you want to take up on yourself to do it, go ahead and do it. It's a really simple form to get done.
Okay, I have a question. Do you know, like, okay, I have a company with a partner, and I can't find the EIN number. Do you know a way I could quickly get my I know I can go to the bank and get a copy of it, but a quick way where I don't have to go into the bank, and IRS is closed the weekend, where I could find the EIN number.
No, you can't. If you register that as an official business entity with the state controller office, state of Texas or whatever, you can go there. And also, just to let you guys know, it's just not LLC. It could still be corporation partnerships and S Corps and C Corps still having to file this form. I know a lot of people, we've been saying LLCs, but it can be other other business entity that where you have to require to file this form. But if you got if you register with the state of Texas, you should be able to log in and
Okay,
um
and find it in
and
there.
find it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
Good morning. Can you guys
Good-
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Sorry I'm late. This is Pastor Evelyn out of Pensacola, Florida, Southeast Regional, newly installed director. I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. James Aldridge with EAP. He's on our Black Wall Street list. Very, very knowledgeable of a lot of what we're talking about. And Miss Reese, he did some further research on that VOI, and there is some fine print that said it's optional. So because a lot of our big boys, they don't even have to even submit their information. I'm a nonprofit, so I'm exempt out of the 23 exemptions, but Mr. Aldridge teaches us on financing in terms of trust and things of that nature. And he did find the fine print that said that this is optional. So I wanted to make sure that we look into that to make sure. I mean, I know the time is well spent, but if you're between the fence, I think there was another lady who's not on, but that said that she hasn't done anything. So it is optional to what we have researched. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
I just also want to tell Miss Karen that if she has anything, and I know she's busy planning her event, so this could be something that could end up being. I don't want her to get involved in too much of anything outside of that. But if you want to pre-record and video or audio, on what you know about this, because I know you know a lot about this. I will be glad to share it with people. And actually, you can charge a small fee for that. Do you know how many people don't know the difference in all the different types of entities that you just mentioned? I, for one, did not know. I mean, I do, but unless I'm an S corp, I don't even care about that until that comes up. You see what I'm saying? So I know this is what you deal with, and we can talk about it later. But I was going to say I got a lot of people who would like that information from you.
Yeah.
So we can talk about it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So back to Evelyn and as far as optional, and I mean that might be why they're constantly going back and forth with the court about it, as far as it being constitutional versus this company. I mean, this organization imposing this on businesses. So they've just kind of been going back and forth. But to put out a rate of what they would charge if it's not done, and then
Mhm.
have somewhere that is optional, that's right there is even
Yeah, I agree.
conflicting.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's just a lot going on.
And then two, I mean, I don't see what is a problem of disclosing who owns the company. Because that's all you're doing is saying who the owner is, and if you're doing business correctly, I don't see why it would be a problem of sharing the information, who owns the company.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it either. Back when you brought it out, I did start telling all the people in this area. And when I became an affiliate of EAP, I was educated more about it. And, it did show up as an optional, it wasn't a mandatory thing. And so it took the panic away from a lot of people feeling like they had to hurry up and get this because of the fines, like you're saying. So I just wanted to just add that and put that out there to you, so that
Okay.
let's see, if folks is gonna
Yeah.
be getting that fine and see if I did tell people back when you first mentioned it though.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, because we really wouldn't want people to find out about it when they're given a fine, and then they didn't have the knowledge that it was actually happening. So, and leave it up to the individual to make a choice. Either they do or they don't. They'll receive a fine or they won't. So, and I would just encourage you to avoid any fines if you can, and keep that money in your business.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And now, is there anything else you all want to discuss? We can talk about our business goals. I have identified my goals, what I plan to do differently, and that is to integrate a lot more technology doing my marketing for me instead of me doing all the street marketing. Integrating it into the technology is one of the key things. I'll be focusing on building funnels for all of my business entities and doing my taxes on time this year instead of filing late is another one of my goals. So, and I will have to write my goals more where I can see it on the wall. I have them all written in my planner right now, which the planner is gonna expire on 12/31. So I have to get the new one to put my goals where I can see them, as well as my vision board.
I wasn't able to get to you in time for the agenda to hear what you had to say about the UEI. So when they're finished mentioning their goals, could you refresh and just know what was the outcome since we last talked?
Oh, okay. Well, let them go ahead with their goals, and then I will definitely come back to the UEI update.
I just decided to streamline things more, utilize more people, call on people who I think are super busy, but who I was shocked to find out were willing to kind of streamline their own businesses so they could help me, meaning have a couple of graduates at the university run the GoFundMe campaign for me, things like that, people that who I can trust, things like that, to take some of that pressure off, and where I can continue just to work with the people and train the people on how to invest in tax liens, and teach people more about, how to do title searches so that they can clear title before. And so I'm going to start, the GoFundMe will help me to be able to train more people who don't have the funds, because you have to understand, when you have information that after a course people can get up and make six figures or up to $1 million, whatever they want to make, you have value. And one thing I don't let people do is devalue my product. So what I do is I find people who can work alongside me and help me, and so that's one of the goals that I've worked out. I've pinpointed the people who are going to come aboard and help me to get more done this year. Even collecting these overages and stuff like that, that's a whole income. $16 million is a lot of money that Harris County Register is holding. That's a certain percentage of that is income for somebody. So teach more of my people how to look at different ways to do this. So I haven't worked it all out, but I do know that I'm going to do that. That's going to take a lot of pressure off my shoulders in terms of having to do everything, and I can get back to what I love, and that's helping people become investors in their own communities, and to help them receive the funds that they need to also help them to put down and, help pinpoint property for them, that I know, has gone through everything. Maybe empty lot. They may want to know how to determine what lot has utilities to it already and what lot doesn't, because you can't just look at a lot and tell that. You have to know how to figure that out. And so, which can save you 15 to 20 grand if you want to build something on it. You see what I mean? It's those type of things I want our people to know. So I've found people to do these things now, and I'm just really grateful. So that's the main goal. Haven't worked it all out, but that's I've gotten started though.
Great, great, great.
For me, it's a new mindset.
Mhm.
With all the different businesses that I've, started and created, I had the mindset of that I, if I use my tax business money to fund them, then that's how I would get it done.
Mhm.
And so I had to really look at, how I was operating a business. And there was times as far as being tax business where when I would do someone's taxes, and because of fearful of them saying, "Oh, that's too much, you charging me too much," I would automatically reduce my prices before I even told them, versus telling them what my prices came up to be, because I put in the rates for doing the taxes. And so there was at one point, in the winter times, I run out of money. Right. And so I began to just like, God, bless me with money, bless me. And my friend was telling me, she said, Karen, he was already blessing you, but you keep reducing your prices. You keep taking it off. And so here it is that in the winter season, I'm running out of money, paying my rent on my business, marketing, and all that kind of stuff, because of the way I operated throughout the year of trying to be a blessing to others, and giving, and then giving people the benefit of the doubt, and letting them say they're going to pay me later, and I'm having to text them and say, hey, when are you going to pay me, and them not responding. And so for 2025, I'm going into 2025 with a new mindset. As far as I've done that, I've sown into people for years. And so 2025 is I have to take on a new mindset that what God has given me to do, He gave me the money to fund it, but I wasn't being a good steward over it and collecting it. And so another thing is being okay with asking people to donate to what God has given you to do. That was something that was I would climb back, because I automatically began to think about how they would think with me asking. It would just get into my mind. And so I actually was talking to Mr. Daly, and he kind of educated me on Matthew 7, and when it's talking about judging, and be ye judge, and about the plank in your eye, and knock and ask and you will find. And so it brought, I've heard those scriptures a lot, but I don't know, it just, this time it resonated to me. It fell on good ground. And so I'm not fearful anymore of going to be sending out texts to people saying, hey, donate. And if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. But my thought is that I'm going to ask because God told me to ask, and allow Him to move on the people's heart to give, and just kind of leave it there, and not internalize, and them thinking that those people say, oh, she just begging. She could, whatever thoughts that normally come in your head when you're asking. I'm going to ask. That's what He told me to do. Ask, knock, and seek. And how can you do that unless you go to the people? Because that's how He blesses us. And so if you don't ask, knock, and seek, how can you expect Him to come in and answer your prayer if you don't send it out? And then you try to do it all on yourself versus doing the word, what the word say. So 2025 is going to be a new mindset year for me, because He's given me a lot to do. And if I say that He's going to provide to make it happen, then I have to start looking at the ways that He's been providing that I might have been just kind of killing it. And so that's what it's going to be about for me.
Okay, and I'm gonna hold you accountable so you don't block these blessings. So I would definitely hold you accountable and be checking in to make sure you send those invoices and emails.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, let's go back to the UEI number update. Pastor Evelyn, What
Yeah, I'm-
happened, I finally got my UEI validated. What I finally got it validated. The problem was with the EIN number, I had never filed taxes with the EIN because my company hadn't made any funds to file taxes. I
Okay.
was always filing no tax due. So when I put my social in, they were able to validate it with my social. And then to get the cage number, it wasn't validated. I had put something in there about a parent company. And so I called them for support, and all I had to do was remove that information in that spot and resubmit, which I did, but I haven't received the cage number yet. And I'm waiting to hear back on the updated application submission. So that's what
So
happened with the UEI.
I file every year with my the EIN number. So I don't know, like, did you get to talk to somebody and they talked you through it, or
Well,
how
I
does
had
that work?
talked to somebody, and when they were talking me through it, and before I had already resubmitted it. And so through the conversation, she asked, had I filed the taxes with the EIN number? And I was like, well, no, but I always did the no tax due because I didn't have any funds to report for the taxes. And so I resubmitted it with the SSN instead of the EIN, and it was able to be validated that way.
Okay, so I probably just need to talk to somebody because I file every year with the EIN. So it's something else that's blocking me. And for my goals, I do want to say that um, anybody's input who's been on Black Wall Street for a while, you're welcome to just give me some pointers on regional wise to be over the 6 states. My goal for Black History Month is to just have a reunion of those that's been a part of that in those 6 states to bring us all together. And that's my main purpose, is to bring those. There's a couple of the states, 4 of them, that don't have any directors or anything over it. And so, but when he sent me the website for it, it was so many awesome activities that they did back in 2019 and so forth, that we really don't have to reinvent the wheel, but just bring it back alive for the Black History Month, all the different Martin Luther King holidays and so forth. And so I'm excited about that. And that's one of my skills and my strengths, is bringing people together and, collaborating and stuff like that. With my nonprofit, being a part of EAP, I want to say to Miss Karen that I'm a new member, but I've been following Mr. Aldrich since Black Wall Street, and this information will educate us in a way where we can leave foundations for not only our nonprofits, our businesses, but also for our families. And so we won't have to say, GoFundMe, none of that stuff, because it's strategically done and it's inexpensive to where we educate and have that establishment. So he's right on our Black Wall Street page. He's very approachable. He talks directly to you. The information is amazing. And about the trust with the taxes, land trust, everything is all right there. And how we can strategically put ourselves in place to where it self-generates and funds even past us. And that was what Black Wall Street was about, and why I joined. It's because of the legacy that we can leave behind. So I just wanted to share that. If you ladies would take the time and just look into EAP, it is definitely one to listen to. It was worth the investment, not only for my business, but personally. I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Karen, Miss Janice.
Okay, and what was the initial investment for the EAP?
$100.
And what does it entail with the EAP? What service or what's the product?
it's just depends on what you need help with. He educates, like I can send you my website because you get in a website and it shows everything on there. But I'm not recruiting, I'm educating and just sharing the information.
Okay.
But if
Oh,
you contact Mr. Aldrich and just tell him I told you guys to check it out, he can explain it better than me. He did the 31 years of investing. I'm still new and learning, but what I've learned, what I've studied, I've brought people in here in Pensacola and took advantage of it. That's in those type of fields that you ladies are in, and they
mm,
are forever grateful that we took advantage of it.
okay.
Oh, that's
I
good.
also
I
want to
mean, I
mention
don't know what
that,
EAP stands
yeah,
for, but with my conference and being in the space where these athletes are getting all this money, I think that would be great. I do have some other people that are going to be speaking on financial wealth and stuff like that for these athletes who are getting, hundreds and thousands of dollars to be educated on where they can invest that money. So if they don't go to the league or whatever, they would have some money that is invested. So, what does EAP stand for? I mean,
Educating America on prosperity. And
oh,
so he's right on our page when they send out the calendars of different things. He's the one that does it on Monday nights, James Aldridge. And
oh,
the gentleman is powerful. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's 68 years old, and his passion is to make sure we know all of what he know before he leave this earth. And I'm telling you, the information is amazing. And before you send people, because Mr. Rick Travis brought him to Black Wall Street, and he tried to, tell a lot of people the short time he's been a part of us, but um, before you tell people, we need to, as a Black people, get strategically in place first, because once they see what we see, it's a no-brainer. They're going for it. So we just try to basically educate us so that we can get ourselves in position, and then we'll bring the rest in. And so I'm in position. I got in position yesterday for not only my nonprofit, but also for my personal self. And now whatever generates to start building my foundation, my trust for whatever is going to go to my company. And it's in there, I won't have to be asking for donations or nothing like that. Like you were saying about you want to offset the cost of people that can't afford. This is another way where it'll cover and it'll pay. But it's only $100 to start, and it's just $88 a month, and you get a bullion silver coin that's mailed to you every month. That after it matures, it's worth a lot of money as well, and you get them every month.
I also want
So
to throw in real quick that I mentioned a GoFundMe, but let me say this. I guess everybody's different. I see a GoFundMe as a tool, not a means to an end. I have nonprofits as well as for profits, and we had just spoken about the fact that I'm not interested in using my nonprofits for certain things because it's cumbersome. Boards for me are they hold me back. Board members, the people. And so GoFundMe is a great tool. I've been doing this a long time, and GoFundMe are a great tool to use in your fundraising efforts, especially when you have a product that people that helps the people from the beginning to the end, and you have businesses out there, whether you're nonprofit or not, who have extra funds that they don't mind donating to worthy causes. I'll
hi,
get back.
Miss V. I
Mhm.
remember you. I do,
Okay.
and I remember you with the tax liens, and I was speaking to all of the conversation, and
Okay.
I do understand what you're saying. My job is just to give you the information, not to kick against anything, but it's just to say to put ourselves in a position for profit, nonprofit, C corps, whatever. That please look into the information.
All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Well, I'll definitely take a look at what he has. It will be included in one of my projects for 2025. So I'll reach out to Mr. Aldrich after the new year. Let it be part of one of my strategies for new projects the upcoming year to support. Also, it's time for announcements, and we'll start with the announcement for upcoming events. On January 1st, we will have Gaia Superhero Birthday Experience here in Sugar Land at Constellation Field. Looking forward to recording of the documentary and working closely with Ms. Reese on this project. So if you're in the area and like to attend, just let me know and we can add you to the list. Also on January 4th, we have Ms. V has her event here in the Houston area. We'll be sharing it on social media as well to post to try to get participants to attend. And then on the 25th, we have the Lupus Awareness Conference here in Houston on January 25th. It is one of Black Wall Street supported projects. And on February 1st, we have Karen's Sports Mom Conference. Is there any other events that I didn't mention that we need to bring forth for the call? Are there any other events? Oh, yes, Dr. Eartha Stone birthday event was rescheduled to January 4th that evening. So we'll also support her birthday event on January 4th. She also had an amazing virtual birthday experience. So that was nice. If you had an opportunity to attend, thanks for attending and supporting her virtual birthday event.
I was on the virtual birthday event. It was a great opportunity to just give honor where honor is due. But I thought she said the first weekend in June is where she was going to reschedule to have everybody come. Your January 4th, is that another function?
I thought it was January 4th. V, what
She
day did you?
hasn't told me anything about a change. That's the same. I think she plans on coming to the event, to the workshop that morning, and then head on out to wherever, she'll be in Houston. I thought it's the same day. I thought it was January 4th. She didn't mention it to
Yeah.
me, but I haven't talked to her in the last 4 or 5 days either, so I don't.
Okay, well, we'll verify the date and we'll definitely send out an email to confirm whenever it is so that we can continue to support her with her celebration. She deserves to be celebrated and recognized for all that she's done and doing in our community. Any other announcements? If not, then we're going to adjourn and I will see you all on Monday's call if we have it. If not, we'll meet back here on Saturday. Saturday. Let me ask you, Pastor Ebony, what time is your call?
That was my next question, is trying to set that up. I'm looking at nobody's doing nothing on Wednesdays because I didn't want to conflict with everybody. So I was going to see if Wednesdays was a good day to do it with everybody and to see if I would just probably go up for Wednesdays.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let us know so that we can come out and support your virtual meetings as well.
Thank you so much. And Happy New Year's to everyone.
Happy New Year to you. And for those that I will see soon, see y'all soon.